The Equal Rights Amendment, how Phyllis Schlafly changed the minds of the public.
Me assume really, that the battle for women's rights and women's equality in American history is being well recorded, documented.
Women should not be equal to men.
Media is one of the main reasons why Betty Friedan and Phyllis Schlafly were able to get their point across during that time. There are many other movements going on during that time to get the attention of the public. Title IX was one of them. Title IX was allowing for no sex discrimination on any school or educational properties. In 1972, the use of television and newspapers had a significant impact on how the Equal Rights Amendment was communicated to the public. The ERA stated that there will be no legal distinction between men and women. While the ERA had many supporters, it also had people who disagreed with the ERA in order to decide which perspective. The Equal Rights Amendment was first introduced by Alice Paul in 1923 as a way to help women in their fight for equality. During the 1920s, women were trying to get the amendment ratified, but the movement mostly died. The movement slowly continued until it ended in 1972 when not all states had ratified the amendment, causing a halt on the future ratification. Phyllis Schlafly used the media to her advantage to convince the public that the Equal Rights Amendment was not doing what it conveyed. Instead, it would rob women of their rights, as said by an editorial in 1923 from California.
How do you view the relationship of women and men? Is it equal?
Women should not be equal to men. I think under our present system in the United States, women enjoy a very wonderful status. I think it's better than equality. I think women would be sacrificing many of the good things they now have, and it would be taking a step downward to go for equality.
As said in an interview with Bob Porter on October 3, 1972, through her many attempts at ending the ERA, she was able to convince large groups of women to fight for the amendment to not be passed, which is what she strongly and passionately believed in. Even though the amendment was stating different things to what she was saying, the amendment stated that it would remove all legal distinctions between men and women, and men and women should have equal rights throughout the United States. There were also other activists trying to prove Phyllis was wrong and why the ERA should be ratified. A very popular activist during that time was Betty Friedan. Betty Friedan was the opposite of Phyllis Schlafly because she wanted to show the public why the ERA should be ratified and it was a step in the right direction. Betty had used the media to show the public why it should be ratified and to prove Phyllis Schlafly wrong. Women and men continuously fight for the ratification of the Equal Rights Amendment, even after 1972. Today, Phyllis Schlafly is still trying to prove to the nation why women should not be equal to men and why women are good with the rules they have and how they do not need to be equal. She's referring to how women and men are still constantly being treated differently and how that is okay. To this day, women are still fighting to be equal to men. Women and men to this day still have very noticeable differences between them. Women and men to this day still have very large pay gaps and are treated significantly different. Women to this day are treated as different and are pushed down for doing the same thing as men. The Equal Rights Amendment allowed women and men to be equal, which is something women and men are still fighting to for this day. When Phyllis Schlafly influenced people to believe that the Equal Rights Amendment was bad, she set back women's equality for the future, and she believed that women do not need these rights, but she has set back women's history.